Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and I normally don't do too many update videos on mods. However, the Immortal Empires Expanded mod once again just increased the size of the map and it looks so good. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to be here with a modded faction, as you can see, and I'm just going to turn off the fog of war. So I do apologize if there is a little bit of a, frame drop every now and then, because it does happen. But what have we started seeing? Well, they've expanded the map further to the right, which means now that the Lost Isles of Elephas and also Nippon are much larger now. This also means that they've got more settlements that you can play around with. You never know in the future for mods for these factions. We do know that there's a Nippon mod in development. So, yeah, I mean, this is already really impressive. Not only was this a breathtaking mod already, but just expanding it and just filling out the map a little bit more, because if you might not remember, the Nippon section was just kind of cut off down the middle. As impressive as that might be, it gets even more so when we start looking further north. So, obviously, Warhammer Korea has been fleshed out a little bit. There's no real lore to these areas, so Robbie, one of the modders here, decided to call it Ihan, which I think suits, actually. It looks alright, and everything is just a little bit more expanded, a little bit further up north, though, essentially adding in the Eastern Steppes. This is pretty much where the Hobgoblins are, and there's a lot of territories here, which is really cool. All these areas are fleshed out. It's just kind of nice to have more zones, right? Here you can have like a Kurgan faction or a Hobgoblin faction. It's just really nice to see a proper expansion to the map. It makes sense logically, like mapping for Warhammer Fantasy especially, with pretty outdated world maps that we do have, does make it quite difficult. This is fantastic. It actually benefits a few races, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. The best example would actually be the Warriors of Chaos, because, yeah, there's Dark Fortresses up here. There's a total of 4 new ones, I believe, which is actually going to be quite nice for, say, for example, Village, who is stuck up there. You can push down into Cafe a little bit, and you do have some Dark Fortresses there, but afterwards, it's, oh, I need to push into Archaon. And as much as most people want to fight with the other Chaos factions, you kind of want to have a nice base to be able to build up where you're not surrounded by other Chaos factions, so you can then focus on taking out Cafe with having a decent amount of cash and not getting too close to Archaon, who will eventually attack you, and well, that's a problem in its own right, right? Also, something that Robbie added in, which is absolutely amazing, is the presence of like a teleporter. That's pretty much what it is. It's a passageway. You can use it to go from West Hungaria all the way to the territory, which is also held by the Tong and so on, so where Valkyr is. And I think that also helps a lot. This gives you a lot more areas to kind of go through. This allows you to launch invasions in your own right and take other territories. Again, very cool, because that means that you can focus on Dark Fortresses without having to push down. Seriously, this is going to make the Warriors of Chaos playthroughs a bit less of a slog. I am absolutely loving this. I mean, you can use it with other factions too, so if you're pushing down with, say, Zatan or pretty much anyone else, it's kind of cool. Honestly, it is really cool. Absolutely adoring this update to the mod, because it's showing that the Cane tools are just that good. It's something that I can't wait to see what else Robbie might have planned here. Obviously, it's one of these things where we shouldn't really be making demands. I would love to see what could be done and just flesh out stuff a little bit more. And we're seeing that. There was a second update too, which added in a few other locations. So the Warhammer world is feeling like the Warhammer world. I only wish that Creative Assembly actually increased the scale of the map. It's too small for what it is. Like, Altdorf is supposed to have like 14 towns. Well, not Altdorf, but Reichland itself, major cities and so on. But my computer already runs pretty hot in standard style, so if it was actually more closer to true scale, yeah, my computer would probably explode. Yours too. But hey, still we can dream. In a previous update, which I didn't cover, I think this was during the time of the Shadows of Change debacle, we did see an update which kind of fleshed out some territories that we've already known. For example, some territory was added to Araby to kind of flesh out that area a bit more, considering that there is a major settlement there, but that's pretty much it. Then obviously some islands around the area, just to kind of give Lustria a little bit more of, well, a feel of that, They've added in, like, the Zamuda Triangle, which is kind of funny, obviously. It's 3 areas. It's kind of cool if you're going to be, say, for example, Noctilus or well, pretty much any of the Vampire Coast factions. I think that you'll benefit from that mostly. But the idea is just to kind of add in some areas. Hell, even Amazonia was added in, which gives me some hope for OVN Lost factions. Maybe they could start there. Obviously, I don't know how well a lot of the mods are doing with this, but I know a lot of mods are being updated to be able to work in Immortal Empires Expanded. Obviously, you know, I've got the Gates of Caliph here. So hopefully we can see more, and just in general, this is what's making the world feel super fleshed out. This is what's making the world feel kind of complete. Yeah, I know it might not be as important to get, say, for example, you know, that little island in the southern parts of Austria, but yeah, it fleshes out the world. It makes it feel full, which, while Immortal Empires in its own right is probably one of the most impressive things that we've seen from a Total War game, because it's a full, well, almost full world map, now Immortal Empires Expanded is giving that feeling of completionism. I must say, it's one of these things where if it wasn't for like mods like this, if it wasn't for like literally Immortal Empires Expanded, OVN Lost Factions, there's a lot of mods that are out there and a lot of mods that are coming. I would have probably uninstalled the game until things got a little bit better. And I'm not trying to doomsay here, I'm just saying that these mods are keeping me very much engaged. They're keeping me still interested into playing the title. And I do realize that there's a bunch of people who don't like using mods for one reason or another. I would say, though, you should give it a chance. You should actually download some of these mods because they're really, really good. And they feel like DLC quality updates rather than just, oh, it's a mod. This is the perfect example, right? This world map, this addition, feels like it should be in game. It feels like it's a part of the world quite naturally. Sure, a bunch of these areas are pretty much just like made up in terms of name and so on, but that's more the case that you look at the world map and they've just got no name. But just scrolling through it, it feels extremely fluid. It feels like something that you would expect from Creative Assembly eventually. I mean, they did say that they're going to open up Indon Koresh. Who knows if that is actually going to happen or not, and they were just kind of trying to build up the hype. But I'm looking at Nippon, I'm looking at the Lost Isles, I'm looking at essentially Warhammer Korea, and it just fits with the theme. It fits with everything that needs to be there, and it's what I want from this series. By the end of everything, by the end of Total War Warhammer 3, I want to see the full world map as much as possible. And yeah, honestly, I just kind of want to see how this mod goes. Even if we don't get it from CA, we're getting it from the modders. The game tools are proving to be incredible. I really want to see how this progresses. I'm not making demands there, but Robbie, if you're listening, I would love to know, and I don't know how to actually contact you. I'm not sure if you're on the Discord, but it would be really interesting to know if there was a way to implement the, you know, the Chaos Realms as a sort of dungeon system. I don't know. If you're listening, you want to reach out, because I literally don't know how to actually contact you. It's weird. But yeah, guys, if you want to try this out, you should. I'll have it linked in the description below. It's something that you're going to want to try out anyway. I'm actually playing a bit of a Village the Cursing campaign right now as I'm waiting for models to dry up, because I'm priming a bunch of miniatures. Having the ability to be able to build up a decent economy, I mean, it's still Warriors of Chaos, but you know what I mean, and then pushing down is quite the difference. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Someone started drilling here, it's just very loud. So yeah, see you guys.